Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Dangerous Lies, which is on Netflix and stars Camila Mendes from Riverdale in a bit of a murder mystery whodunit style film which has you guessing from start to finish in the standard way that these murder mystery movies do. It's got loads of twists and turns, loads of misdirection and loads of clue gathering throughout from start to finish. So it's a really enjoyable watch. I really enjoyed watching it. It sustained my attention throughout. I wasn't looking at the clock at all, and I really enjoyed the fact that, you know, you're kind of getting these clues, you're kind of piecing everything together along with the cast and crew of the film, and then at some points you're kind of going in one direction whereas actually you should be going in a different direction. So it's really clever how they kind of put all the pieces together, and it has that standard killer shocking reveal right at the end when everything is unraveled and you're like, oh okay, so that's how everything kind of came together. So it's a really clever film. Really recommend watching it, and I'm going to break down why I really enjoyed this film in this movie review. So the storytelling style is a bit of a mix between Knives Out, Riverdale, and the kind of standard Netflix type movies. So it's a bit of a blend of all of these. But in terms of the premise of the film, so it's got Camila Mendes' character, Katie, who has a husband called Adam, and the two of them are having a bit of money problems. And one day, Katie gets a job as a caregiver to an elderly man called Leonard, who is played by Elliot Gould, who was Mr. Geller in Friends, who was Monica and Ross's dad. So in this film, Leonard gets a bit of a friendship with Katie, and Katie is one day telling him about all of the money problems that her and Adam are having. Leonard suggests, you know, let me give you some money, let me help you out with all of this sort of stuff, because he is a very rich elderly gentleman. And then Katie's kind of refusing, but what she does say is, look, why don't you give my husband Adam a job as a gardener instead? So Adam joins the family as well and is kind of the new gardener for Leonard, while Katie is the caregiver for Leonard. And, you know, like I said before, Katie and Leonard are kind of building a bit of a friendship, and Leonard tells Katie that, you know, in the night he hears noises in his house and he kind of thinks that there's somebody in his house kind of all the time during the night walking around, and Katie kind of comforts him and says, look, there probably isn't somebody in your house at this time. Lo and behold, one day when Katie is kind of coming round to Leonard's house to kind of be his caregiver for the next day, she kind of finds him dead in the house, and so begins the murder mystery of the film. Katie then immediately calls Adam, and then they try to work out what they need to do in this crazy situation, and then stumble across a chest full of money, which kind of adds further complications to this situation. They later find out that Leonard's lawyer comes round and tells Katie that Leonard has actually left her everything. So now she has the full estate of Leonard, including his house and all his money and everything else. So then they decide to move into the house, and then an investigation kind of happens because the investigator, the private detective, works out that there was foul play involved with Leonard's death. It wasn't just a natural cause thing, it was kind of somebody did something. So then the film kind of gets a life of its own in terms of having the investigation aspect of it, where you're kind of working out which of these characters kind of contributed to this foul play, and kind of the murder investigation whodunit style aspect of the film then kind of kicks off. Another bit that I really enjoyed about this film is that it really introduces the concept of how money can kind of lead to crazy behaviors and actions and all of this sort of stuff happening with all of the various different characters within the mix of this film. So I found that aspect of the movie really interesting as well. So in terms of the characters and actors in this movie, it's a pretty basic cast, but really interesting characters. Each of them is kind of developed in a really interesting way and kind of a bit of a stereotypical mold with each of the different characters, but they're really captivating with all of the different performances. So we have Camila Mendes, who is kind of leading the way with this cast, kind of carrying the movie. She plays Katie, who is a character that has a pure heart of gold and just gets embroiled in this crazy situation. And like I said before, she's kind of driving the movie forwards. Because she's so iconic with the Veronica Lodge character from Riverdale, it was really difficult to break her away from the Veronica character and see her as a new character, Katie, because she does the Veronica character so well. But, you know, once you're kind of into the movie about halfway point, then you can kind of get behind this new character. We then have Jesse Usher, who plays Adam, who is Katie's husband, and he is a really interesting character, really supportive to his wife, kind of having all the money problems, and his character, more than any of the other ones, really gets seduced by this lots of money kind of coming his way, and you can kind of see the impact that it has on his relationships, whether you can trust him or not, kind of the darkness kind of coming out. So it's really interesting from his character's point of view and from the audience's point of view to kind of see the impact and to see whether or not you can trust this character as well. It was really, really nice to see Alexa Chung in this film as well. I am a big fan of hers from the Gifted days when she was playing Blink in that kind of brilliant TV show, one of my favorite ever TV shows to this day. So it was really, really nice to kind of see her in this film as well. She plays Leonard's lawyer in this movie. We then have Cam Giganda, who plays Mickey, who is the desperate real estate dealer who really wants to get his hands on the property. He plays a very similar bad boy type character to his OC days, where he played Volchek, who was the character that inevitably led to the death of Marissa Cooper. We then have Sasha Alexander, who plays the no-nonsense detective. Bit of a different style of character to the one that Daniel Craig played in Knives Out, but she is kind of bringing that no-nonsense attitude, kind of wanting to work out the solution to this investigation, kind of putting the clues together along with the audience. We have Elliot Gould, who, like I said before, plays Leonard, who is the unfortunate elderly person who dies in this movie, and we all know him from playing Mr. Geller from Friends. And then rounding off the cast, we have Cal Van, who plays the guy who runs the business of caregivers to the elderly, and he plays a bit of a stereotypical noir type character who is a bit crazy and is not really trusting of Katie at all. So, you know, all in all, the cast and characters of this film are really, really interesting and kind of make the movie what it is and just make it really captivating from start to finish. From a visuals perspective, it is a very stripped back movie. You know, there's no superpowers or anything over the top or flashy like that. But that being said, it does have a bit of a noir Riverdale vibe to it, which works really well for this type of movie, as it's very eerie, very creepy, and does kind of put a bit of a chill down your spine, and works tremendously well for the murder investigation whodunit style film. The set pieces are really nice in this movie as well. So Leonard's house is really, really nice and kind of really does add to the millionaire aspect of that character. And like I said before, because it's such a creepy film, it does kind of work really well for the world that they're trying to set in Dangerous Lies. So the visuals are stripped back, but it works really well for the film. So in terms of comparisons, like I said, Dangerous Lies has got a bit of its own style, its own identity. But you know, at the end of the day, it is a bit of a murder mystery whodunit style film. So you can compare it to a lot of other films, as there are a lot of other entries like this genre of movie. I personally prefer Knives Out and murder mystery to Dangerous Lies, but that said, it is definitely a great entry within this category and is definitely one to watch if you haven't seen it already. So overall, I really enjoyed Dangerous Lies. It's a really fun movie. It's a great entry within the murder mystery whodunit investigation type films, and it is very, very Netflix, but it is a really cool movie. It kind of held my attention throughout, and I was on the edge of my seat working out, kind of putting all the clues together to work out who done it, and I absolutely loved the killer reveal right at the end. Very, very clever and just kind of very earned as well. So, you know, if you haven't seen Dangerous Lies, I would highly recommend seeing it, and for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.